Okay, listeners and viewers of Voice of Indonesia, today here in our studio we have His Excellency Lambert Grijns. We are going to talk about Indonesia and the Dutch relationship until now. And as we know that on April 27 is the Netherlands King's Day, that is called Koningsdag, the birthday of the King, Willem Alexander, who has been on the throne since 2013. And I would like to know, what does King's Day mean for the people of the Netherlands?
Ya, good morning. Terima kasih atas menerima saya di sini. Ini merupakan kehormatan besar berada di sini di RRI sekali lagi. Kalau King's Day, that's indeed the birthday of the king, the 27th of April, and it is an important day for Dutch people. You know the picture where all Dutch people wear orange,
Yes.
and we go out on the street and we can sell our goods on the street on that day. Everyone may open the shop. People in Amsterdam, they go on the boat. And they go through the canals. Everything is orange. But it's not just a party, it's also a symbol of unity. Everyone wants to be the same and is looking for connection. And that is, I think, especially now in a world which is fragmented, where we see the situation in Gaza, we see the situation in Ukraine, Myanmar, Sudan. There are so many conflicts going on, and people don't know what to do. So they I think they're also longing for connection. They long for unity. They want to be together. And that is also behind this party, all together wearing the color of orange.
Yeah, so this King's Day is has a special meaning, means that to unite the people of the Netherlands. So while yesterday they can also share this as the situation of the world, as you mentioned before, is it's not good. Maybe I can say that. So can the Netherlands, the Dutch people, share this unity from their own country to the whole Europe?
Yeah, I think you see this in many other countries as well. Look at like Indonesia also on 17 Agustus kan. Everyone has the merah putih. And in Europe we also see a trend to celebrate our unity. I think people in Europe are now much more pro-European Union than some years ago. So you see the tendency to unite and to connect.
Okay. Yes, Your Excellency. How does the Dutch society give meaning and celebrate the country's royal identity, including the respect for the king as a symbol of unity, as you mentioned before? In some countries, including in UK, for example, some anti-monarchy movements happened. So how do the Dutch, especially Dutch young people, see the importance of the monarchy existence as the continuity of the Netherlands' glorious history in the world?
Yeah, I think the monarchy, so the king's family in the Netherlands is a deeply rooted part of our history. It's part and parcel of our history and of our society. So in general, the royal family is very well respected and quite popular. You could see it just last Saturday at King's Day. Everyone is celebrating King's Day because it's his birthday. So the king and his wife and his daughters, they go to a small village, a town in the Netherlands untuk merayakan hari ulang tahunnya. So I think in general there's quite a big support for the royal family. Also because his wife, originally she's from Argentina, but she is very outgoing, she's a very popular person, beautiful, but also very communicating, very popular. And they have 3 daughters, cantik-cantik semuanya, Pak.
Beautiful, pretty girls.
So they keep connection also with young people.
Okay.
So young people, they associate themselves with these 3 young daughters. They have a normal life. They go studying. One is studying, I think, in Amsterdam. The other one will start studying, so at university. So yeah, I think they are respected and quite popular.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, the communication, being together with the people from the grassroots will be, a factor to maintain this unity. Yes.
Yeah.
And as we know, that Indonesian Foreign Minister Mrs. Retno Marsudi attends the Koning celebration at the Dutch Embassy on April 25. That's the celebration, right? And she highlighted the increasing cooperation between Indonesia and the Netherlands, and in the context of ASEAN and European Union. So, how is the progress of the Indonesian and European Union comprehensive economic partnership, especially, and Indonesia and the Netherlands economic cooperation?
Yeah, I think Indonesia and the Netherlands are strong economic partners. We see that the Netherlands is the biggest European investor in Indonesia. And for Indonesia, the Netherlands is an important trade partner in Europe. Indonesia sees the Netherlands as the gateway to Europe. Mm-hmm. So they export to the Netherlands, and from the Netherlands they export to other countries. We also see Indonesia as the gateway to ASEAN.
Yes.
So we use Indonesia also as a hub or as a point of entry for our relations with ASEAN. Now you see that there are more investments from the Netherlands to Indonesia than from Indonesia to the Netherlands. So Indonesia wants to increase its investments in Europe, wants to increase its investments in the Netherlands. And I think at the end of this month there will be a big mission from Indonesia going to the Netherlands to indeed also give a boost to investment. On our side, we see that our trade to Indonesia could improve. So we are having discussions with the Indonesian government how we could increase our trade position in Indonesia. And the CEPA, which is the free trade agreement between the European Union and Indonesia, would be very helpful for the trade between the two countries, because it would be much easier if there is a CEPA for both countries, for both sides, to export. So CEPA will give a boost to our economic relations. And what I know is that I just discussed this 2 days ago with one of the main responsible functionaries in Indonesian government. As far as I know, the negotiations are going now quite well. They have been dragging on for a long time, but I think it should be possible to finish the negotiations before the new government comes in. And then on having, because you mentioned Ibu Retno, of course she plays a major role also in making that possible. It was a great honor to us that she attended our National Day, the King's Day, at our embassy. She's a very strong ally, and she's also, I think, a very important minister for Indonesia. And it was wonderful that she wanted to be at our embassy at King's Day.
Yeah. We may hope that the Indonesia European Union CEPA will be ratified or soon. It may before the new government in Indonesia. Okay, Your Excellency, Mr. Lambert, you mentioned about the trade balance. So, if you have numbers or data on this, so how is the Indonesia, the Netherlands trade balance at present?
Yeah, on trade, it's a total of like 7 billion euros, but it's not a balance. It's not a fair balance, because there's more trade going from Indonesia to the Netherlands. Like I think 4.5 billion. Then from the Netherlands to Indonesia, which is only 2.5 billion.
2.5, yes.
So that's why we're trying to boost our exports to Indonesia. Indonesia is doing very well. It's palm oil is an important product, but also manufacturing, manufactured goods go to the Netherlands. Yeah.
So, to make it this balance, I mean, because this is trade balance. So, what sectors, has good potential for the Netherlands exports to Indonesia? Besides, say, agricultural products, for example?
Yes, exactly. Agricultural goods. Although Indonesia is a strong agricultural producer itself, so
Fruits,
you don't always need to import from other countries, but you can import the technology. For instance, in the field of agriculture, you know that the Netherlands is strong in horticulture, the greenhouse production, where at a small surface, you can have a very high level of productivity.
Yes.
So there's a lot of agriculture in Indonesia, but the productivity is low. So what we could export is technology. And innovation, for instance, in the field of agriculture. One example is the use of pesticides in Indonesia is pretty high. In the Netherlands, we're trying to reduce the amount of pesticides by introducing biological ways. There are closed systems where there are small insects, killer insects,
yes,
and
insects,
they kill the bad bug.
The bad bug.
So there's the good bug and the bad bug.
Yes.
And we try to introduce the good bugs so that they eat the ular and which is eating the plant.
Yeah.
So you don't need pesticides. So it's a biological way to keeping your plant growing and to keep the diseases away, and that will reduce enormously the number of pesticides.
Yes.
There are also other ways of introducing biological ways, organic ways of horticulture.
Yes.
So there's a lot of technology behind that. That's the kind of thing we could export to Indonesia. Technology and innovation.
Okay, this is sounds good since we Indonesia use very high pesticides and for the long use it will make this like you say bad bugs resistance to this. So biological technology, new technology like biological use will be good for Indonesia. I think. Yes, Mr. Lambert, in the 2019 World Economic Forum release, it was reported that Jakarta is one of a number of cities predicted to sink due to a global warming. Yes, and Indonesia is currently focusing on building the capital city of IKN, we call IKN, Nusantara. So, what can the Netherlands offer as a role model of a country for architectural engineering and high advanced STEM technology? So this is not only I think problem of Indonesia, but many. Yeah.
Let me first of all say a few words about Jakarta because I'm an inhabitant of Jakarta. I know Jakarta quite well. Yes, we had a lot of banjir, and I'm a bit worried about the sinking of the capital. There's a lot of land subsidence, and it's very simple. It is because there's a lot of groundwater being pumped. People here pump the groundwater for drinking water, especially the big buildings. They pump a lot of groundwater. If you keep on pumping groundwater, the city will keep on sinking. So the first solution there is install leading a tube water. From the mountains, from Bandung, from Bogor, from the Puncak, from Sukumu, there should be big. There are already installations to provide fresh drinking water to the city. So, but that's the first priority: stop pumping groundwater. And then, of course, there's also the threat of flooding from the sea. and from rivers. So yes, also the giant seawall is another project. It is already designed on paper.
Yes.
And there are also already experiments going on with constructing a giant seawall near Kalibaru, in Tanjung Priok. And that's necessary because with the rising sea level, there's a risk of huge flooding in Jakarta. And with the flooding from the sea, it can really be very dangerous. So stop taking groundwater, pumping groundwater, and build a giant seawall are just two of the many measures which could be taken. And that's, again, maybe some expertise which we could share with Indonesia. On the Nusantara, on IKN, yeah, that's fascinating. I love the idea of building a new city.
Have you been there?
Not yet, but just yesterday, 2 days ago, our Vice Minister of Foreign Trade, he went there. We had a huge delegation from the Netherlands going to IKN just 2 days ago, because it shows our interest.
For investment?
We really want to know what's going on, interest for investment, but also interest in sharing technology and expertise. We have a lot of expertise in the Netherlands with building new cities. Actually, I'm an urban planner myself. So yeah, these are the issues which we discussed. And IKN is a very interesting concept. Of course, there are also risks. We also have those discussions with the government on the clearance of the forest, especially the primary forest around the city. I think IKN is on plantation forest, but it's very near to the protected areas, and there are people who live there, so they're traditional communities.
Yes, the Dayak people.
Yeah, so how can you, in a fair and a transparent way, deal with the people who live there and who have to find other places to live? So these are the challenges. So of course we also have the discussion with the government about that. But in general, we think it's an interesting concept. The Netherlands is very good in smart city development. One example is try to reduce the use of cars in cities. So as you know, we use a lot of bicycles in the Netherlands. Well, you can use bicycles or at least electric scooters or electric bicycles in Nusantara. But you can only do that if you have an infrastructure.
Good infrastructure,
that. So that's important from the very beginning to think of a good infrastructure which allows for people to use their bicycle or their electric scooter. The other issue is water management. And make sure there will not be banjirs or there will be enough drinking water so that's an expertise which we have in the Netherlands. But also waste management. The Netherlands is a very densely populated country. We have many people in a small small area. So a lot of waste. So how to get rid of your waste and how to turn the waste into energy. So you can use the waste. Actually, the waste we are paying for waste in the Netherlands. Yeah, we are paying for waste because we use it for energy.
Oh, really?
It is being burned.
Yeah.
And the heat is being transformed into electricity. Yeah. So you can make money out of waste.
From the waste.
Yeah. So these concepts, we would be happy to share that. We discussed it also with the autoritas IKN.
Okay, I think it's a very good share, and with the Indonesian government, what the Netherlands government already practice in Netherlands, especially maybe in Amsterdam, it's a big city in the Netherlands. Yes. Maybe one last question, talking about education. Education for all is very important. So how is the potential? I know that there has been long cooperation in education between Indonesia and the Netherlands. So how is the situation at present, Mr. Lambert?
Yeah, it's quite good. We see a lot of Dutch universities who are working together with Indonesian universities. Actually, just recently, the so-called Knowledge Center was established. These are 18 or 19 Dutch universities and vocational training centers who work together in a coordinated way to work with Indonesian universities. We think we should not only talk about universities but also vocational training, because that's sometimes more important for the Indonesian labor market than universities. There are still many Indonesian students going to the Netherlands, like 1,500. Most of them they pay themselves, or they have they have their company paying for them. But we still do have scholarships. Yeah, we now work with PDIP in a co-financing model since a few years. I'm very excited about that, which means that Indonesia, PDIP, they pay some scholarships and we pay some scholarships for Indonesian students, which also this year will take place. Then in October there will be the annual Week of Indonesia Netherlands Education and Research. We call it WINNER. We have been doing that already 4 years now. It's very good. All the institutes in Indonesia and the Netherlands working in the field of education and research, they come together in 1 week. This year for the first time in the Netherlands. The last 3 years it was in Indonesia, but now we do it in the Netherlands. We have a special education and research officer at the embassy. She's very active. So any question we have, and then there's also NUFIC, NUFIC Southeast Asia. They just established their office here. They're working also on strengthening cooperation in the field of education and research. So yeah, it's a very active, a very important element. We also see that the level of education in Indonesia at universities is really getting higher and higher. So we also want to have Dutch students going to Indonesia.
Yes.
There are also English language curriculums here. So yeah, we want to keep it in balance.
Yes. Okay. It seems that there is maybe in next year maybe a probability that Voice of Indonesia and the Dutch Embassy here in Jakarta to organize a speech contest, Dutch speech contest. I think it is possible, right? Okay, Mr. Lambert, for just like a closing statement, a message of friendship between Indonesia and the Netherlands in connecting with the Dutch King's Day commemoration this year.
Okay. Jadi terima kasih Pak.
In English, because this is in English.
All right, okay. So in English, well, I really hope that the relations between the Netherlands and Indonesia will continue being as good as they are now, and that we can together work on a bright future between our two countries. And most importantly, I hope that we, as people together, can join hands and celebrate unity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I also, on behalf of the Voice of Indonesia management, I would like to say congratulations for the people and government of the Dutch for this year's King's Day commemoration. And thank you, Mr. Lambert, for your time, for our very important conversation here in our studio. I'm Daulat Pane. See you next time.